every once in a great while, it's happened twice now. There have been like threads on Cinemassacre Truth that say like, hey, everything else aside, all things being fair, isn't it great that James Rolfe hasn't featured his children in content, despite mentioning them constantly.
I have kids.
The two most recent times there were, I don't know if it was the same guy or two different people or what, but it was like, Frankie has his daughter in his content. And the first time I saw it, it was kind of like, it was very whatever. Like the guy didn't seem to think it was a big problem. The second time, this one guy on Reddit really kind of like went after me about it. And for those who don't know, so obviously she makes no appearances here on a podcast, although I wouldn't be against it.
Man, I've talked to her about gaming.
But on the main channel, she tags along typically in Junt's carts primarily because like when we go off and shoot 4 or 5 of these in a day, like we could offload her to a parent or pay for childcare or get rid of her and go do something fun and creative without her all day. Or she could, for a content like that where she actually, we can keep her stimulated, because there have been times we've tried to shoot Box Mac just with her present, just so she could at least join us. And she can't tolerate it. She doesn't have the patience for it. But going around to like different stores and then inevitably she ends up on camera saying something cute or making some observation. A lot of times she wants to chime in. She wants to be, she wants to ask John a question or whatever. And
are you inviting John to your house?
You're too big for our house.
I can fit in your house. Not your princess house, but I can fit in your regular house. Yeah.
You're pretty big.
I am.
It should be obvious to anybody who watches the channel that it is not the Gloria channel.
No.
It is not Ryan's World. It is certainly not, what was it? A Daddy of 5 many years ago that kind of blew up.
You're not exploiting Gloria for views. She's not a draw in, I don't think, any way possible.
Right. I mean, not only that, the channel itself essentially makes no money. It's like, that channel makes like $250 a month, and so like nobody's being sustained by this operation, and certainly not by a child, so to me, that already puts it in a really distinct category of like, versus, and she'll watch these family channels, like, these like McMansions in the Midwest or whatever.
Yeah,
the
large
about?
Spaces. Yeah, yep. Well, it's like those things that like on Instagram, it's like, oh, where they're trying to be humble. It's like, oh, I'm trying to like organize my like entryway, and you look at their entryway, and it's like bigger than my living room.
Yeah, it's like, they're I don't know where they are, but like cost of living must be kind of low, and then like the dad is a lawyer, and then the mom makes content or something. I don't know. Like it seems like there's a lot of these. There's one in particular that Gloria watches a lot called My PB&J, and it's like it's a mom, a dad, a daughter, and a son. I'd say the daughter and the son are probably like 5 and 7, or maybe 5 and 8. The content tends to be like when the Mario movie came out, they kind of like put up green screens and they all acted out the Mario movie together. And like the mom's in it too. The mom seems to be an editor, and the dad will dress up as Robotnik, and do a Sonic thing, or they'll do like they'll have a coloring challenge. I think they have a gaming channel where they play that Roblox shit. There's some other thing.
That thing looks like it gives you viruses or something. Gives your life viruses.
There's something called Rainbow Friends that Gloria's never played before, but she certainly knows about it from this YouTube channel. But anyway, they get millions and millions and millions of views, and there's clearly a few sponsorships. And I would say I have no idea if that money is what's sustaining the whole family, but I would say if it is, that puts it in a different category, which is if these children want to hang it up, then, like now there's like inherent pressure and the incentives might be imbalanced.
Act out the Mario movie, damn it.
You're Luigi, okay? But I don't get that vibe from a lot of these channels. So I would say another consideration would be if you are being viewed by millions of eyeballs, as James would be, and James in particular, like he has such a fucking unhinged fan base of unpredictables that you want to, he himself is, when he goes to a convention. I don't know who's saying hello to him, but probably strange people generally. So I think it's a good,
and we get the pissed off people.
yeah, exactly. It's probably a good move on his part. Now our channel, the main channel in particular, averages like 2,000 views a video. That's kind of what we get here when we're not doing James Rolfe content. And so, yeah, I think that puts it in a different category. And then, I had mentioned these points. And I said I predict that I will someday cherish what I created with my child, like that we have all these documented amazing memories, and I weigh that against whatever kind of privacy concerns there may be. Because, I don't know, if she became 16 and was like, take it all down, I just kind of would. And since it hasn't been seen by millions, I think again, we're not recognized in public.
Yeah.
I don't see a clear and present danger. And so when I posited those, and whatever like marginal, risk there may be, I think it's like so marginal that it would be on the side of overcautious, it'd be on the side of overprotective.
We'd probably have a better chance of, getting, I don't know, some crazed fan from us talking.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, it's much more likely that somebody finds and kills me, and then she's fatherless. But one guy, a different guy, was like, yeah, but all it takes is one crazy person. And I was like, well, he was saying it doesn't matter that you're not viewed by millions because all it takes is one crazy person. And I was like, that's that
like everything.
That's that overcautious logic of like, so where does it end? So, like, when do you, because I also, at some point, the opinion that you're putting forward is that children should not be able to participate in like any kind of performing arts where there's any kind of audience, right? Like, and I think that's absurd.
Yeah. Then, you wouldn't have kids in any media.
Yeah.
Which, there's some, there's obviously some abuse there, but there's levels that there's levels, and there's no room for nuance on the internet, apparently.
Well, then I was trying to think, I was like, what is the actual thing that they're concerned about? What's the, because this comes up and it's like, okay, so there's, I think that there's like the concern about being famous, right? Like, I wouldn't want my child to be famous. I think that would suck for her. I think I don't want to be fucking famous.
Yeah,
like,
it would suck for us.
Yeah, it's not fun. James Gunn talked about that this week. I don't know if you listened to that podcast.
I did.
The Michael Rosenbaum podcast, and he was like, yeah, when he got canceled, he was like, I fucking hate being famous. This sucks. And for a child, obviously, it puts undue focus on you, and you get weird fans, or whatever. So there's that concern. So again, I think that's a quantity of viewers question. Like, if suddenly we were being viewed by 1 million people per video, I probably would make her vanish from the videos,
Yeah, reconsider that. Yes.
But I do want to say, like, anybody who like expresses this, it's all totally valid to be thoughtful, concerned about this stuff. To think it ill-advised. I know some people are concerned about like social media pics, even in like a closed network. And so everybody has like a different view on this, obviously. So there's
obviously I don't feature my children that much at all.
Yeah.
It's, honestly, it's because they don't care at all. But Gloria, when I was over the shoot, she's just interested. She wants to be a part of the conversation. She's always wanting. She's curious. It's a totally different vibe.
Yeah, she's really social, and so she asks me about the details of like the technicals of filmmaking all the time.
What are you doing?
I'm writing microphones.
Yeah, you're setting up the audio. Do you have Pack B?
I'm the princess.
Say check 1 2.
Check 1 2.
We actually just recently binged all of she's seen bits and pieces before of the Halloween specials for Boxmac. We just binged them. I gotta tell you, EJ, it was like one of the greatest joys of my life to like sit with my kid, watch my work, and have her laugh and have her respond to it and know what it is, know the people, ask like, oh, I bet I know how you did that. Or, isn't that thing in our basement? And, and for her to actually want to watch the next one and ask questions about it. And like, yeah, I wouldn't trade that. So there's the fame concern. Then there's like, here's a completely different category. your child, and this, you would have to be a little older for this to even happen, going onto YouTube and posting on YouTube without you knowing it.
This is from her father. You bunch of lying, no good punks. And I know who it's coming from because I back traced it. And if you come near my daughter, guess what? Consequences will never be the same.
That's a different concern altogether. And one that like I would take that extremely seriously. Like no social media usage, no uploading imagery of yourself without like adults being part of it.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing where wasn't there like an Instagram study that's the cause of most like teen depression is just kids on social media?
Yeah. 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 I mean, if I can keep her away from social media for a long time, I will. Obviously there's some day of reckoning with that. And I look at it much like drugs, like, you know, like shit, maybe when is she going to try the first thing, you know, and how do I, yeah. So anyway, and what else would I say that they're kind of conflating this with? You know, that it's like trying to make her a honey boo boo or something. Like, again, like if you watched this content, you would not be like, oh, Junt really wants Gloria to be a honey boo boo. There's like the consent issue of they're too young to be able to say that they're, you know, that you're allowed to put them out there publicly. But again, that is like saying like, well, there's no way that families can make decisions about these things, you know, like
then you wouldn't have child actors. You wouldn't have kids in media.
Throw the whole thing out.
Throw the whole thing out. I don't think so.
And that's kind of an extreme position, I'd say. So anyway, so I put all this forward to this guy who's giving me shit, who said that it was icky and gross. He kept using these kind of,
they're mealy mouth words.
Yeah.
It's to it's moralize something.
It's a shame you without actually having to like put forward an argument.
Yes.
And it's like, it's rhetoric. It's what people do all the fucking time. So I put that forward. I thought a well-reasoned, 4-point, here's why I do this. And I did it also for anybody who like might be reading it, who might have questions, because I've gotten the question before. So he goes, I'm going to just share a little bit of a flame war with you here. Lots of excuse making as you usually do. And earlier in the thread, he said that it was on brand for me to have any lack of any sort of self-reflection, which of course, like, I don't know.
I think you writing that is a big exercise in self-reflection.
Yeah. Or at the very least, like stating my, this is how I arrived at this conclusion. He's like, yeah, well, it's gross.
Icky.
He says, doesn't matter what kind of channel, parents with any sort of decorum wouldn't put their kids on YouTube. Never mind the Black Mirror type shit, posting and filming everything you do for the content, with the camel case. This guy can't structure an argument. YouTube is a cesspool, and that's not even taking consent into account. Funny how you and James, because I had said that like she participates in filmmaking. Funny how you and James consider all videos you make as films. Well, what the fuck has this got to do with anything? And no, I didn't say that now, did I? But yes, filmmaking does go into making a Boxmac video. It does, actually. Yeah. Because there's like videography, editing. What would you like to call it, my friend?
Yeah, and I heard you having stories about taking a camera with her and like making shots, and she's kind of directing it. It's like those are filmmaking exercises.
Yeah. Good.
What you put in a frame, how you decide to shoot it, how you direct it. It's all filmmaking.
And this guy doesn't have a kid, right? Like we can safely assume that.
I would assume
this is somebody like opining about like, if I had a kid, it would go like this, There's a lot of that going on. Also, it's kind of strange that I didn't even tag you and you replied so quickly. Well, yes, I read the sub. And also it was predictable that somebody might say this about me. Maybe go offline and touch some grass, my guy.
Oh, I hate that.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Touch some grass, my guy. We're getting into like Chat GPT territory of like talk like a douchebag. They
did their subroutine where they just put a bunch of catchphrases, like Gen Z catchphrases out there.
Yeah. And he says, no need to make a film about it either. So he's trying to preempt me doing this very video segment.
Well, you failed.
You can't stop.
Or you fell into a boomer trap. I don't know.
I fell into a boomer trap. No. There was never, nothing was ever going to stop this video from being created. No amount of shaming. And I said, like, it sounds like you just want to lob bombs. You're not really trying to make any kind of case here. And yeah, he then kind of retreated. He said, that's the Frankie I know from the YouTube comments. Again, that, so I have a self-made reputation of, like, if you forward an opinion about me, like I may just reply.
I may just defend it. Maybe to my detriment.
People don't want you to do that, right? They'd be like,
you take it.
I think EJ's a and then you go like, here's why I think I'm not a and then they go, touch some grass, my guy. Don't reply to me. I just wanted to call you a
I just wanted to throw a bomb in your window.
And I think if the whole culture got together on the internet and they all were like, here's why I don't think I'm a I think we could maybe reduce a little bit of this nonsense on the internet.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.